The fridge door creaked open, revealing a pathetic glow of warming yogurt and wilting greens, the kind of sight that punches you in the gut when you realize the power's gone. It wasn't just an outage, though. It was sabotage. Standing on her porch across the street, clipboard in hand, yoga pants pristine, and a smug grin plastered on her face, was Marianne, me neighbor from hell. Marianne was the kind of woman who'd sign her emails President, Willow Creek HOA, and treat a stray dandelion like a war crime. But this wasn't about weeds. She'd hired a landscaper to rip up my backyard and sever my power line, claiming it violated some vague community aesthetic. She knew I worked remotely, knew I had permits, knew I'd catch her red-handed. But she also thought I'd scream, lose it, give her the meltdown she craved. Nope. I wasn't going to yell. I was going to get even quietly, methodically, and with a spark she'd never see coming. My cabin, tucked just beyond the HOA's reach in the rolling hills of Asheville, North Carolina, was a relic from the 80s, grandfathered in before Marianne and her khaki-clad cronies turned the neighborhood into a beige dystopia. But last spring, when a storm smashed my solar setup, I tapped into the community grid through a legal easement, all signed and stamped by the city. Marianne, freshly crowned HOA president after bullying her predecessor into fleeing to Arizona, had other plans. Her mission? My cedar-sided cabin, my goat named Biscuit, and my off-grid vibe were her personal eyesore. She tried fines illegal once. She sent letters demanding I tear down my own shed. She even hired a surveyor who confirmed my land was untouchable. She had my power line dug up like it was a weed in her petunias. I caught the guy in a reflective vest, bolt cutters in hand, staring at a crumpled work order. MS. Marianne's orders, he mumbled. I thanked him for the proof and walked away. First, I hooked up a battery bank strong enough to run a small factory, charged by my backup solar. Finally, I checked my permits and found gold. The transformer feeding my line and Marianne's McMansion was city property. I could flip the script, but I waited. Patience is a weapon. I bided my time until Marianne's Summer Harmony Gala in the cul-de-sac, complete with a string quartet, catered charcuterie, and a no pets sign that made Biscuit public enemy #1. She even hand-delivered an invitation, her smile as fake as her designer scarf. At 8:15 p.m., with her party in full swing, wine glasses clinking, fairy lights twinkling, I flipped the switch. A flicker at first, then a bulb burst in her dining room. The fairy lights flared like a supernova before fizzling out. Her AC unit gurgled, then died with a wheeze. Guests froze, murmuring. A smoke alarm wailed. I sipped iced tea on my porch, peering through a book I'd carved out to hide my binoculars. Marianne's house groaned under a surge from a generator built for farm equipment, not her smart home nonsense. The quartet's amp popped, scattering guests like roaches. It was chaos-controlled, precise, and completely untraceable. The fire department found nothing. Her circuits were fried, her thermostat was toast, but the easement was city-owned, so it was logged as a municipal fault. Marianne wasn't fooled. She stormed over the next morning, accusing me of electro-terrorism. I pointed at Biscuit munching her azaleas and offered her a glass of powerless lemonade. She turned crimson and stomped off. But I wasn't done. Revenge isn't just the strike, it's the dread you sow. Marianne spent days yelling at utility workers and filing sabotage reports on the HOA website, which I could see her repair bill hit $15,000 scorched wiring, a dead AC, and a smart lock that trapped her in her own bathroom. She called an emergency HOA meeting in her driveway, waving a melted surge protector and accusing. That night, under cover of darkness, I planted a plastic flamingo in her flower bed, wearing shades and holding a sign. Warning, power may surge. A solar spotlight made it glow. By dawn, she was hacking at it with a shovel while Biscuit judged her from my porch. She escalated, filing a city complaint claiming I was running an unregulated energy cartel. The inspector, a guy named Carl who smelled like charcoal and motor oil, toured my property, chuckled, and said, "Still legal, still boring." I wrote the HOA a letter, announcing I'd installed a backup transformer on my land for community resilience. Marianne, thinking she'd won, demanded access. I invited her to inspect it, showing off my generator with a fake manual of complex steps and a clause holding users liable for errors. She nodded like she got it, then rewired her own house badly using the same landscaper who'd cut my line. The setup was a fire hazard, bare wires and duct tape. I dropped a note in her mailbox. Generator not safe for DIY. See fire code 904.12.1. A real electrician shut it down days later, slapping her with a $4,000 fine. Then came the real blow. I called the IRS, tipping them off about the HOA's cash-only donations with no tax filings. Marianne had collected $20,000 for community projects, all funneled into her personal PayPal. I saw her freeze on her porch, clutching it like it was radioactive. The neighborhood buzzed rumors of audits, lawsuits, late-night shredding. Meanwhile, I finalized a deal with a developer named Roger, who owned the HOA's utility shed and its grid fuse. I bought it for cash. A sign went up, "Trespassers will be shocked." Marianne screamed when she saw it. Cops came, saw my deed, and told her to back off. Her petitions flopped. Her Unity picnic was a desperate flop, her smile twitching as she served deviled eggs. I could have stopped there, but I didn't. I donated the shed to the city as a conservation easement, ensuring it'd be raised for a wetland buffer, stripping the HOA of its backup grid. The city posted a yellow notice. Marianne saw it at dawn and broke. She showed up at my cabin, shaking, hissing, "I know it was you." I sipped tea. "I just live here." She left, silent, defeated. She fought on, filing doomed appeals at the county office. I saw her there, ranting about rogue neighbors. I tossed my coffee cup in the trash by her purse and walked out. Back home, she tried neighborhood patrols and signs about property rights. Then her power cut aga and a squirrel chewed her wiring. She whacked her fuse box with a broom, screaming. At an HOA meeting, she ranted about my electrical tyranny until the treasurer, Ellen, announced her ouster. A vote she'd missed removed her as president. Tom, now in charge, raised a soda can in victory. Marianne dropped her clipboard and fled. The final straw? Her illegal generator wiring, still live, was flagged by Carl. Another $3,500 fine. She listed her house, slipped away quietly, and vanished. The cul-de-sac sighed in relief. Ellen's flowers bloomed. Tom painted the HOA mailbox neon green. I got a letter from the IRS thanking me for exposing Marianne's $9,500 embezzlement bake sale cash spent on spa days. She was indicted on 5 counts: fraud, tax evasion, and more. Her mugshot went viral, her pearls gone, her hair a mess. The neighborhood roasted her in group chats. I declined the IRS reward. I had what I wanted: peace, biscuits snoring by my solar panels, and the memory of Marianne's face when she realized she'd lost. But was it worth it? Did I go too far, turning her life into a cautionary tale? Should I have let her win that first battle to avoid the war? And what would you have done if someone cut your power and came for your home?